Hi everyone, it's Adrienne and Leah. I'm in Bry's place right now and Leaf's in the backyard. She might pop up during this video because she comes in and out of the house. I have a couple of projects that I'm working on and decks that I've been working with. Some of them you have seen before, but I wanted to include others that you haven't seen and I haven't mentioned. So I have this dream catcher that I'm working on. I feel like it was meant to be created like this. So I'm gonna include the third hoop at the bottom. And this is channeled by the Raven Animal Totem. I really love the effect. And I was thinking about a couple of ways that I would arrange it, even putting it here or changing the placement of the 5-inch hoop, but I'm happy with the way that it turned out. I'm gonna put this a little higher because I wanna keep it intact. And Bri got me this amazing tattoo of Leaf. Then there's the diamond here that I chose more of earthy tones to have colored into it. I had the option of having it colored or in black and white. I chose to have it colored because it's a diamond that's gonna be on my body, and it's something that I wanted to take advantage of in the best way. So I decided to have it colored, but not too intrusive to other things that I might wear. So I love the way that it turned out, and you can see it on my Instagram. And also Sarah, who did an amazing job, she's actually done a couple of tattoos of mine over the years, but I recently got in touch with her again and I really wanted to get another tattoo from her. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Bri. It's amazing. So I also have another post on my Instagram, I'm mostly active on there, that I am a pharmacy technician, and I currently live in another state than Bri, but I'll eventually move to this area, and this state requires a license. You can also get jobs that give you a time frame of when you can get when you can have the license, because I was gonna take the exam towards the end of the summer, so I figured I would do some studying also for my benefit as well, because the way that the pharmacy that I work at is formatted is by brand in alphabetical order and then generic next to it. And to note that most bottles have generic on the bottle, and a lot of times they don't have the brand on them. So it's definitely nice to get that training in on a daily basis too, on knowing the brands and the generic. So I have some index cards, some I've done on my own, and I've ordered pharmacy flashcards. So I have these, and I got the tabs for the different letters. And so one side would have the generic and the other side would have the brand. And this is also helpful for pronunciation too. And I will just show you an example because I'm still writing them out, but I figured I would keep doing them. So I have G here, and then on the back I have the B on the corner. And then these are some drugs that may be on the shelves. Then I do have other ones that aren't on the list too that I have written down. Then the other day I got these pharmacy flashcards recommended by the owner of the pharmacy. Well, I was also recommended nursing flashcards too, but I got these because I was looking at the reviews and what it had in there, and I thought that these would be great to study and be a nice resource. So for decks, I mainly carry fairy decks. I tend to gravitate towards those the most. So an example is, the Tarot of the Elves, and then I have the Scorpio Sea, the Forest Bay Oracle in here for quick draws, and the Enchanted Forest Tarot. So I love reading this deck when I have to do the client readings. I feel like it's a firehouse of a deck. It loves to talk to me, and the messages are clear. I love the Scorpio Sea tarot book. I feel like it's well written, and this deck is created by a devotee of the Morrigan, and the author has made other tarot books. So there's definitely a flow that links to the book series that this deck is based off of, and it's just a nice experience. Another book that I have is, it goes with a deck that I see as a close friend. When I bought this deck, it reminded me of one of my close friends. So the book is really interesting, and I like having it in my repertoire. I haven't finished the bag for it. It was funny because Bry's from the South, and I was on the phone with him looking at the backs of the cards. I said, "What state is that?" And I eventually, in the same conversation, realized that it was the South. And he would know because he saw Virginia represented and West Virginia. So I feel like the deck called to me too. And interesting, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, but it's interesting because I've been in different places and I tend to gravitate towards specific decks based off of the location that I'm in. So I feel like this is one of those decks that will stick with me because I don't plan on moving too much after the next move. The next move will probably be one of my biggest moves, and then after that I'm settling down into a place and calling a place home, and that'll be refreshing for me. I'll still travel, but I'll have a place to go back to that's more rooted. One of the cards that I get most is the Seven of Swords, and I definitely appreciate it because of the interpretation behind it. And it's coming up because of the differences that a practitioner is given can be an indicator of being a natural root worker, and I have definitely connected to that meaning of it. And it's one that I remember the cards. I passed one of them that I remember being my first card draw. The historical significance of it is one that draws me into. I like decks that have a lot of purpose behind them, and that's what draws me into decks that have interpretations beyond the system. And that goes with books too, that I don't really read a lot of the tarot books. I love that the Lovers has the courting on there because that's how my parents talk about dating or relationships. A lot of the meanings really speak to me too, and I tend to go for decks that are more soulful. So it's nice to go through the book, and when you're doing the readings, it gives the readings life. I'm sorry, I'm just flipping through this deck for a lot of the video, but it's one that has a warmth to it, has a lot of vibrancy too, in contrary to the sepia tone of it. Or is this? It has some type of effect to it. And with the rootedness of it, I also like the traditional type of imagery to it too. And there's also a boldness to the imagery that I enjoy because I have said this in other videos, I'm not a light worker. I don't have anything against that specific philosophy, but I like my practice to be more rounded. I like to take things, and I'm not a Wiccan either, I like to take things from other traditions that I connect to in that way. And I like to develop myself, and I don't like just to conform to one thing for the rest of my life, because if I feel like something is outdated in my mind, I'm gonna change it. And I do love a lot of these cards. There's a sincerity to them too, that it speaks, and there's nothing that really holds it back, or there's nothing that shies away from the honesty that it has. So another deck that was it took a while for me to get it, and it's the sorry. I've always remembered the name of this deck until the point of when I'm showing it. I'm sorry. But to kind of balance out the energy for me, I edged in black. I like the waterfall effect that it has. And it was a deck that I wasn't sure how I would view it. But it's a fun reader. And it reminds me of taking the first bus into Massachusetts and engulfing myself in the things that I do right now. So those were the things that I wanted to show. The Forest Fae Tarot is one of my favorite decks to just put in my bag, and the meanings make sense. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that was interesting, and I'll see you in another video. Bye. Oh, sorry. I also got necklaces too. I got a new vial that's technically an essential oil bottle, and it's one of the more, I guess, not high tech, but it's one of the fancier ones that I've come across, and I got it at the local metaphysical shop where my deck is going to be sold in August, and I'm very happy about that. But this one has a dragonfly on it, which I thought was fitting for where I keep it. So I think it's fancier because it has sponges that come with it, and then once you unscrew the top of this, there's another part that you unscrew to put the essential oil in with it has a hole on the lid where the sponge soaks up the essential oils. So I thought that was cool, and the second one is more of a dainty one. It's a dream catcher that I thought was fitting for the things that I've been doing. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.